This is Creative Smack. You dig?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Creative Smack Podcast number 4. If you can believe it, we have the cleanup hitter episode, and it is just a beautiful day here in New Orleans. Welcome back to the show, everybody, and please welcome my good friend George, who is in the house. George, where are you? I can't see you.
I'm here, and we have
and you brought a friend.
I found him on the street, man.
Our special guest today is a great friend of ours, Mr. Larry Hamburger. Larry, how are you doing?
We're doing great, guys. How are y'all?
Doing great. Larry is the marketing director at Mid-City Lanes Rock and Bowl in New Orleans, Louisiana. One of the great live music and entertainment establishments that New Orleans has to offer. And Larry, thank you so much for being here today with us, man. What's the latest and the greatest in these days of COVID?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. But yeah, as of yesterday, the governor of the state is allowing music back into the state in some form. Although our mayor here in the city is not allowing that, but we are moving forward with music in our Lafayette location, and hopefully pretty soon having music back in New Orleans.
Larry, tell us real quick in the Rock and Bowl family, where for the people that might not be ultimately familiar with it, tell us what Rock and Bowl is, and tell us where the locations are and how you guys kind of handle all that.
Yeah, well, Rock and Bowl is as the name states, it's both rock and bowling. So you can listen to music, you can bowl, you can have parties, all in one location. We do have locations in both New Orleans and Lafayette, Louisiana. Mm-hmm. Under the Rock and Bowl umbrella is also the New Orleans staple Ye Olde College Inn restaurant, which is right next to our Rock and Bowl in New Orleans. We also have a Ye Olde College Inn in the airport, which is currently shut down due to COVID restrictions, but hopefully getting back soon. And we also have a Ye Olde College Inn steak and bank bar in our building in Lafayette. So it's a pretty big operation, both food, dining, bowling, music, fun.
That's awesome.
All encompassed under one family. It's pretty impressive to see that business model in action, especially on those wild nights when you guys might have a full restaurant, a full bowling alley, live music, and events going on in the new Grand Hall, which is I've learned that's across the parking lot in New Orleans, which is it's another 200 person reception site, like at least 200. I mean, how many people can you fit in there?
Yeah, if you're doing a stand-up kind of reception, you could fit 200 people. Seated is probably around 100 to 125.
Right.
We also have a ballroom in Lafayette as well, which is a tad bit bigger, which that's on the second floor that overlooks all the stages and dance floors as well. So we're a very versatile business, and we could host anything from conventions to your bridal shower to a baby shower to a birthday party or just a night out with friends. We do it all.
I love it.
That's awesome, man. So Larry, let's talk about your personal history in New Orleans. Tell us about give us the Larry story, man. Where did you start your professional career, and what brought you to Rock and Bowl?
But professional career after LSU, which is where I went to college, I got into politics for a little bit and did that for Lieutenant Governor Kurt Bennett's campaign. Worked with him for about a year. After that, I moved on to Zender Communications, which is an advertising public relations firm in downtown New Orleans. Worked there before and after Katrina. Then I had a great opportunity to work with another New Orleans landmark, the Fairgrounds, and where I was there for almost 10 years and really got involved with music, booking all of their bands as far as all their special events and racing events, and doing a whole bunch of other things in marketing from a casino to a racing side. And then a little over 2 years ago, had this great opportunity to join Rock and Bowl, which has always been my favorite place in New Orleans, and I could not pass this up.
Right. So cool, man. So George, when I got to know Larry, he was the dude that did all of the work at the fairgrounds with the night racing. And, you know, I can say this, but I really think that Larry really is a big reason why that night racing, what I call twilight racing, really developed, man, because Larry was the guy spearheading the whole thing to bring the bands in. And after the racing would stop the whole night racing would be done by 9 o'clock. And then the bands would kick up. And then that's when Larry would do Larry's thing, man. You know, it's, you know, the host with the most right here.
That's so cool, man.
Time. The ponies and the music. We had some good times during doing that. And it's like, as far as the bands, yeah, but we had a really good team marketing wise. We, you know, that put everything on together, and it was a great event.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and hopefully all that stuff will be coming back. Hopefully by Thanksgiving, we would imagine.
Yep, hopefully. So
I
need to pet the ponies.
We hope so, man. What in the thought of how COVID? What I guess the question would be this: where your COVID story with Rock and Roll? Now that you've been at Rock and Roll now for a number of years. Can you take us through those first few weeks of COVID and how you saw the landscape kind of changing and what y'all might have done to quickly kind of come back from that? Yeah.
So obviously without music, you don't have rock and bowl. You just have in bowl. So we had to come up very quickly to figure out how are we going to keep musicians employed. With live music not happening anywhere, not just in New Orleans, just anywhere in the United States at that time, in the very beginning of COVID, we had to come up with a way to make sure that we took care of the musicians that always came and packed our venues. Cool. Now, right away, we didn't jump into the live streaming, but we got together, our operations director, Joe Palestina, myself, and one of the other managers in New Orleans, Mac Cranfield, you know, as well as Johnny Blanchard, the owner. We really put our heads together and said, what is going to make our live streams better than everybody else's? What is it going to make our live stream like you're actually at Rock and Roll having fun? Once we figured that out, we developed our system and we started doing live streams in, I would say, mid-April of last year. And, you know, we put the Venmo, the PayPal for the bands. And this is a way that we gave back to the bands. We asked bands to come play. They would make money. They would be out there in front of all their fans and fans. And believe me, doing all the research, looking at the numbers, it was people watching in Europe. There were people watching in Australia. There were people watching in close to all 50 states on almost every show. And it was something that not only was our brand out there worldwide, now we're having all these local bands that have come in and out of Rock and Roll to play can be seen worldwide now. And that was something that, we all take pride in doing that. Now, as COVID continued, and at some point, especially in Lafayette, some restrictions were loosened, and we were able to turn shows into more of a dinner theater style, where we had tables and people sitting down, watching music, eating dinner. So we've been very flexible. The window's open now to hopefully do a little bit more back to normal, but we'll see what that happens when it happens.
Hey, Larry, I gotta say, man, as a fellow musician myself, I'm always super picky whenever I go see a band and how they sound. How does the PA sound? How's the lighting? Like the whole ball of wax. How in the world did y'all get your sound so good on the live streams? Yeah. I mean, it really looks state of the art.
Now, technically, I don't know how all those work. I can tell you, sound man Chris Getz is a rock star. He's been around Rock and Roll for quite a while. And him and our operation director, Joe, have really put a lot of effort into doing that. So, I mean, we literally had a sound man right there mixing every show that we did. And, Chris is great. And we're happy that he's at Rock and Roll and on our team.
Heck yeah. So camera wise, what's the camera that's aiming at the stage? Because that's crazy clear too.
Yeah. Well, so we have a few cameras. The main cameras is right there. It's almost to the bar. If you've ever been to Rock and Roll, it's almost to the bar, and it can zoom in and basically see the hairs in your chin from where it's located. Yeah. Just like that.
Just like that, right?
And we can actually preset 6 different angles on that camera.
Oh,
So
nice.
while the band is doing their sound check, we are checking those cameras, we're zooming in on the guitar player, we're zooming in on the drummer, we're zooming in on, a horn player or something along those lines. So when the show is coming on, we're easily pressing, hey, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4.
That's so
have a few it's phenomenal. And we also have a few GoPros on the side of the stage to kind of get different angles of the whole band, not just the straight on.
nice.
It was
You need to advertise. You need to have bands come and pay you a few dollars so that you can record like a song or two, and that's their video.
We are more than happy to make that happen.
Oh, absolutely.
If you need a test subject, me and the guys would be happy to come play 3 songs.
Yeah, and actually it's been fun. We there was a few of us. We trained a few guys to help work us with the cameras, and we like to coin ourselves Rock and Roll Productions.
No,
right?
roll
Absolutely.
literally.
Yeah, I'm going to throw this out there. If Joe is watching this, he has promised us Rock and Roll Production shirts, and we still have not gotten those yet. So I'm just going to call him out in this podcast right now.
Clearly, I'm not in a Rock and Roll Production shirt, and Joe, Larry, I don't know how many times the cast of Star Trek: The Next Generation has to tell Joe to get to work, which is a total inside joke that we have. I have partaken in the Cameo app. George, do you know what that is? Where you can get the celebrities to talk to you?
Oh, really?
Right. Well, you can go on this app and you can basically tip celebrities to send messages, and so.
Cool.
Getting the clearance from Larry, of course, we've got the cast of Star Trek to tell our friend Joe to work harder, politely.
Harder, Joe.
Yeah, Joe. Sorry, it's out there now. Everyone knows about it.
Joe he's done the grunt work, man. He's enjoying life at this time.
He's the best.
He has guys like Larry to work for him, man, and doing right. So he's probably still in bed.
All right, so Larry, with the idea that Rock and Roll is actually not just a bowling alley, but actually encompasses private parties and 2 really large restaurants, would you take us through your mindset on how to properly market together and separately the restaurant side of the business versus just the bowling side? I mean, you're really doing multiple tasks at the same time. How do you work in college into the overall brand so seamlessly, and y'all do it every day, which is amazing?
Yeah, I take it in 2 different ways. One, I say, hey, these are all separate businesses, so I have to think separate. But also, as we get back to live music, one of our taglines is the one-stop dine and rock, and that kind of encompasses both. Hey, you come have dinner with us, and you go either bowl and or listen to music afterwards. It's something that has worked, quite well throughout the years. And it is something that, especially when the weekends are getting closer, is that we're promoting more and more, is that one-stop dine and rock. And it works in both cities. It works even more in Lafayette because we're all under the same roof. The restaurant and Rock and Roll is in one building,
right?
Separated by a hallway. So that has been a tried and true statement from the very beginning. The one-stop dine and rock. Now, when you're actually in the restaurant eating and you coming and there's live music that night, if you order an entree, we're giving you a discount off your cover that night at Rock and Roll. So, that's a way not only, as your outside marketing, but once you're inside the restaurant, we're still marketing to you saying, hey, don't forget, don't end the night early.
Right.
We'll have
come next door. Well, and man, I think a lot of people that are maybe a little younger don't realize the history of Yale College Inn almost parallels the history of the Mid-City Bowling Alley, which you guys, took. John Blanchard took over in maybe 87, 88.
It was 88, yeah.
88, and But Ye Old College Inn, my great grandfather, who was a motorcycle policeman from New Orleans, used to go to the bar at College Inn. It's like, this is, you have two really huge New Orleans traditions that you continually make vibrant every day. And that's a huge order, man. Like I keep saying this, but man, like you've got a lot on your plate.
Yeah, I mean, the College Inn has been around since 1933. It's no joke. It's
yeah. Do you remember the old one, Larry?
Oh, we got to freeze.
Yeah. Actually, oh, am I back?
Yeah, count to 10. We'll give it a second to catch up. I'll edit this later. We'll cut her. All right, 3, 2. All right, you can continue.
Yeah, so College Inn been around since 1933, so it's seen a lot of different versions. If you're familiar with the layout of Rock and Bowl and College Inn now, the parking lot that's in front of Rock and Bowl next to College Inn was where the restaurant used to be in pre-Katrina. And actually, the building where College Inn is currently was being renovated to be another restaurant right when Katrina hit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Another restaurant developed by the Blanchard family. And when Katrina hit, the building was a total loss, the College Inn. So they ended up just tearing that down and putting College Inn in basically a building that was ready to be worked on once Katrina hit. So a blessing in disguise that they were open pretty quickly after Katrina, more than most restaurants in the city. But, College Inn, from po' boys to steaks to lots of different seafood dishes, you can get, whatever you want there. I know we do have a regular right over there, Chuck Credo. But Chef Baker has been innovative in the way that he presents our menu, as well as Johnny Blanchard. Who would have thought a fried bread pudding po' boy would be not only delicious but win awards in the po' boy festival?
It's so good. It's so good. It's like that should be the name that should not be mentioned. It's like, man, that's sinful, that dessert, man. I
have to say I have not had it yet. I see a lunch item on my menu very soon.
Well, speaking of lunch, when is College Inn going to reopen for lunch, Larry? Is that in the cards at all?
Yeah. I don't know if lunch is going to be open anytime soon. We occasionally we do open for lunch, usually on Endymion Saturday. We open for lunch. This year on Mardi Gras Day, we opened for lunch and actually had a killer day. Mardi Gras Day this year was a little different than in years past, but with no parades. But so every now and then we will reopen for lunch. But as far as future plans, I don't see that happening.
Would you tell us about the inside Ye Old College Inn? There is a slew of local sports figures that line the walls. What is that? Can you tell us more about that?
It is the high school prep Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. And it is, I want to say, over 100 people from way back in the 30s all the way into today, both male and female athletes that have excelled during their high school days. I know a few people on that wall personally, which is pretty cool. We have a list of everybody there. You can certainly, especially around the bar where the majority of them, are located, but we have them throughout the restaurant, and it's just a celebrating of high school sports in the New Orleans metro area. College Inn being a not far from Tulane, it is certainly a spot where a lot of, when Tulane football, Tulane baseball play, there's certainly a influx of people coming into the restaurant. We also see it during high school football season, games at, in Tad Gormley and other places. We do see an influx of high school athletes and families coming by the restaurant afterwards. So it is it's definitely a lot of sports stories that have been told around that bar over the years, and it's just a celebration of all the look, some of those, people like Peyton Manning, Eli Manning are on that wall. Some not just great high school athletes, but people that have gone on to Hall of Fame careers in professional sports. So there's definitely it's a celebration of high school prep sports in New Orleans.
George, my picture's not on the wall. I don't know.
Change that.
Yeah, right. I mean, it would be funny to just put this Chuck. What are you doing up there? Oh, I have no idea.
Just do it yourself, man. We'll do the black frame and
just put it up there.
Yeah,
but it's a really cool thing to see. It really is.
Chuck, just take a cue from Kermit the Frog and the Muppets Take Manhattan. He puts his little picture behind him, and he's sitting at the same booth that his picture.
Doesn't he have a mustache in the
picture? Mustache.
Oh, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen, right?
Absolutely. Now there's two things I think of when I think of Rock and Roll. How long ago? That was in I think it's the 80s or the 90s. What was the commercial John used to do, copying the NXS video, with the poster boards?
Yeah.
With the little lyrics. How long ago was that?
Over 30 years, and that commercial still runs on TV. That same commercial. Rock
Really?
Never die. My oh my.
That's classic. Talk about getting your money's worth out of a commercial.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Larry, about a year or two ago, we did a little calendar with the female waitresses that were over there. I did not realize that this was a thing because they get on the bar, they hula hoop, they're funny, they're sweet as can be. But how long has that been a tradition at Rock and Roll?
Probably since the beginning. I know it has been around for quite a while. And it's just part of the fun atmosphere. Not only do we can have the bartenders jump on the bar and hula hoop, but almost every night the hula hoops are out in the dance floor at some part of the night. Anybody can partake.
That's so cool. Chuck, I want to see you do that next time, okay?
Bro, look, I tell you who's the hula hoop champion is my mother. My
Really?
mother can hula hoop like there's no tomorrow. That gene did not come to me. Gravity and I have a problem. Big problem. So, I mean,
Oh God. Hey Larry, what so now that we're kind of seeing the light coming out of this COVID experience, we'll call it, is there a silver lining that you've found in this whole thing? Like, is there something that kind of came out from this for you guys that was enlightening, or just like, okay, cool?
Yeah, I go back to the live streams, that there is certainly a lot of interest in New Orleans music all over the world and the country. And that is something that is not only a testament to rock and roll, but it's a testament to all the great music that comes out of the city. In developing this live stream, it's also a way that can garner even more revenue for bands when they play. Not only can we now, hopefully, a silver lining, people can start coming back to concerts, but there'll be people who, may not want to start doing that right off the bat. This live stream is definitely ways, and we've talked a bunch of different ways of trying to figure out what can we do once we get back to the stage, but still have live streams and still have, not only does the band take the money from the door, for the show that night, but now there's another opportunity for them to make money on that same show through a live stream. So that is definitely something, a silver lining, not just for rock and roll, for, but for local musicians that I think in the future, in some form, will be part of concerts in the future, especially local concerts.
Oh yeah. That, to me, I think this live stream thing is absolutely going to be 100% part of our future in more ways than one. And any smart business person would figure out how they can utilize a live stream in their business, any business, to some degree, because like you're saying, there's people from all around the world that can tune in. And somebody in Ireland saying, I got $10 I can throw their way, and it's somebody that didn't actually physically go through the door to pay the door fee to see the band. So that opportunity is crazy good exposure for the band and for you guys.
Yeah, and it's not only, we have used this live streaming for dance reviews during COVID when people, when their grandparents couldn't see, people, especially we've done this in Lafayette, where we've done student concerts and dance reviews that, hey, now grandma, who's afraid to come out, can go see the granddaughter dancing on stage. And so it's not only helping musicians, it's also helping other entities that, that people can't go and see right now. And that is definitely a silver lining that we have found during COVID, at least in my opinion.
That's perfect.
That is
perfect. Yeah.
So, so Chuck, let's throw him the question. We've been asking people, is going back in your little history banks in your brain as far as starting off in this industry, you getting involved with the Jefferson Fairgrounds and all that stuff and coming in through where you are. Is there a single WTF moment?
Oh yeah, this question.
Beginning times of I never want that to happen again, or you know what I mean? Like everybody has one that stung.
Yeah, so it goes back to when I was on the political campaigns. My degree is in political communications. Which is similar to PR and marketing. It was just, hey, this is how you're going to market and PR a politician. I've always wanted, a dream of mine was to be the man behind the man. But after that, working on a first election for a year and having the stinging loss to it, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Right. I like to win all the time.
Right. Amen.
And that was, having a year of hard work almost every day, because there's no off days in a political campaign. You're just going. That was certainly a gut punch. And at that point, I had to make the decision of, do I continue on here in Louisiana, or do I move to DC and become a part of, a political consulting group where I can work on multiple campaigns and all that. And that was definitely a gut punch of saying, a time in life that I was like, I had to make that big decision. And I was like, you know what? I love New Orleans. I love Louisiana a little too much for me to start venturing out. And from there, your
job is way cooler now.
Yeah.
Oh, much cooler. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. This is called a life.
Exactly.
Experience. You're part of the culture. And that, to me, when I say somebody's like a rock star, to me, that's like the rock star status, is that you are part of your city. And I take that to heart every single day I work. And I see you and Chuck and other people I run the city. We're all like this little common thread of what we are, So thank you for your service and not going to DC.
Yes, man, absolutely.
And I have been blessed to work for two iconic New Orleans companies in both the Fairgrounds, who's been around since the 1800s, and now the Rock and Bull and College Inn, which has been around since the 30s and 40s. So I'm certainly blessed in that. And to me, I've made that right decision.
That is so cool. So if you were to talk to your 19, 20-year-old self, back in the day, what advice would you give yourself based on current scenarios and what we went through? Like, how could you possibly prepare for this, or what would you do maybe a little differently?
Advice would be, hey, don't get set in your ways. Learn to pivot really quick. But as long as you prepare, you can pivot quick. It may not be exactly what you thought, but as long as you're ready and your business and it backwards and forwards, pivoting's pretty easy. And then that's something that more and more working every day since back when I was a kid. I don't know if I could have done that, but now it's I do it like this, and it's learning how to do that. The quicker you learn your business, the quicker you're going to be able to think of your feet and pivot and make it right.
Agreed. That's what Chuck and I have been talking about over the last, now a year, is, something devastating like Hurricane Katrina. The businesses that had that many years under them and girth of working through problems all the time, that was just a sidestep. It's like, okay, we're going to figure this out. COVID restrictions was worse. Honestly, this is way worse than Katrina was.
Yeah.
Katrina, you can go to the beach for a weekend and escape your mess and then come home to your life you got to fix.
Right.
This is more, everybody's in the same boat, but the people that are still waiting for the veil to lift to move forward, and there's people like us who are like, all right, let's find a silver lining and let's move. I think the live stream is just, man, that's $1 million idea right there.
Yeah, and you know, we take pride on that because we're one of the very few, and I'm not gonna say the only one, because there have been other music venues that have been doing it here in the city, but we jumped on it early and we kept at it. We didn't stop. We stopped for 1 month and didn't stop.
That first live stream you guys did, it was like at the end of the hour and a half, it was something like 20,000 views.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, that was truly, it's wild. I mean,
that is wild.
Instantly, the first time you guys do it, that there's 20,000 people around the world that would tune into the brand and celebrate it like that. I think it just shows how strong of a business sense you guys have and how much impact you guys are making across the world. People, I'm telling you, looking through the comment section of those videos, you'll have people, as you said earlier, from Europe and from Asia, and just people that are just signing in just to see what's going on in New Orleans. And you guys are the access point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know, in the very beginning, you know, as Joe would work the cameras, I would be monitoring all the Facebook comments and everything, and I was interacting with people, and you know, we were going back and forth, and it was a way for us to say, hey, you may not be here at Rock and Bull, but you can still make friends. You can still have fun. And that is certainly part of what Rock and Bull is. And that's part of what Louisiana music is. And we're excited to give that back to the world, all, you know, in a time where there was no music going on anywhere.
Right.
You know, the last time I updated the, you know, stats, and it's been a while since I updated stats, but we had close to 2 million minutes viewed on these videos.
That's
wow.
great.
So, I mean, there's a lot of people that are out there watching, you know, and we keep the videos up there. So say, hey, I'm busy this Thursday. I'm working this Thursday night. I can't catch up this band. Oh, well, you know, Saturday night I got nothing to do. Let me put it on the TV and let's just rewatch it. And people haven't. And I've had musicians tell me that they were still getting tips 2, 3 days, 4 days after their show.
That's great.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
All right.
Oh man. So to kind of heading towards closing out our podcast today, what new things are in your future that you want to advertise or let people know? Any future news coming?
Music.
Yeah, music. Live music.
Right.
You can actually come and see us again.
Right.
So we are working, especially in Lafayette right now. We're working to get our next few months out scheduled. We're waiting to hear what the mayor of New Orleans is going to say for us to move forward there. But you know, there's a lot of bands that are eager to get back to playing in front of people. Obviously, it is going to look a little different as far as everybody sitting down at tables and high boys and all of that. And you know, as we like to say in Rock and Bull, the Governor Edwards does not like Kevin Bacon very much because dancing is still not allowed in the state. So that's how I got everybody seated. But you know, hopefully soon enough, we're going to have some. You know, we're going to bring in our old favorites and hopefully some new shows and some new bands. So that'll definitely be something to look forward to later this year.
Are you going to put like high boys on the actual dance floor? That way people are kind of sort of forced to sit and not be teased by that big dance floor to move your booty.
Yeah, we have had put picnic tables in New Orleans, high boys in New Orleans. We have round tables in Lafayette. It's on the dance floor. People still find a way to dance around them now. I'm just saying.
Right. I mean, come on. You know, where there's a will, there's a way.
There, exactly. But we, you know, not that we're trying to discourage people from dancing, but we are trying to, you know, follow all the state guidelines so that, you know, we can stay open, and we just hope that our customers help us do that so they can keep enjoying the live music and keep coming back and enjoying that. So.
Well, maybe they can break like a baby rule and uphold the other parts of the rules, like no singing.
Right? No karaoke. I can't come on stage and sing with you, Chuck. I'm sorry. It's not allowed.
I give up at that point. If Larry can't get up there and sing, I don't know. I think the career's over with. I'll go make pencils.
You're right.
All right.
That's fun.
Yeah, this is awesome. We're definitely gonna have you back on again in a little bit once things clear up and we're all working and we actually have a follow-up to come back to.
So you know what I think the show. I just had the idea for the next show with Larry is we're gonna get a reel of classic New Orleans commercials with the Rock and Bull one in there, and we're just gonna have a Mystery Science Theater 3000 party where we just comment on the old New Orleans commercials that we still see every day of businesses that have been closed for 50 years.
Yeah,
I miss some of those, man. I miss that. 1925. Too late.
Right. I mean, it's like it's places that young people have never even been to because they've been gone for years, but they still know the jingles. So like,
Secret City, very pretty.
You laugh, but a few years ago when they had the anti-Goodell Super Bowl party at Rock and Bowl during the Super Bowl, literally we had to stop letting people in, and there was a line of about 100 people outside trying to get in. But while we were showing, or in between, because we had 4 or 5 bands play that day, in between each band, we were showing those classic commercials on the big screen. And Al Scaramuza actually got on stage with the bag of donuts to sing Seafood City that day.
That's brilliant. Talk about, okay, so the next show we do with Larry, we'll also have Al Scaramuza on it, and we'll watch the old commercials together.
Is he still alive?
He is, I believe.
That was a few years ago,
Oh, Chuck, that's a goal of
Coach Al Scaramuza, I think, taught or coached for years at Johnny Bright Playground. Am I
really?
Close? Yeah. I think he's
I
still.
need to. Is that commercial on YouTube?
Are you kidding? Of course,
yeah.
We watch it every day.
Yeah.
All right. So for all of our listeners out there, we also have a YouTube channel where the video of this podcast sits, where you can find us, Creative Smack podcast on YouTube. I'm gonna go find that video and I can download it and put it on YouTube, and I will show you images, the calendar shots we did of the awesome waitresses over at Rock and Bowl, because that was a great shoot, by the way.
That was a lot of fun.
That was
Great
good.
time. Great time.
So some little added pluses to going to see us on the YouTubes, as we say.
Absolutely.
That's so cool. But Chuck, you want to close this out, bud?
Larry Hamburger, you're a gentleman and a scholar, and we thank you for being here with us today on this noble, what's today, Thursday, in New Orleans history. And man, just thank you for your time and talents, and we can't wait to get back to normal over at Rock and Bowl and come see you guys.
I hear you, and thank you all. This has been a lot of fun. Y'all are both just as important to our culture here in New Orleans as Rock and Bowl, and I'm glad to be in this podcast with you guys.
Perfect,
man.
Perfect.
I'll tell you what, I'm embarrassed to say I've never had that deep fried pudding po' boy thingy. I need to experience that.
It's delish.
It will change your life.
As soon as Lent is over, man, that's my first meal.
There you go. There it is.
Episode 4 is out the door.
Peace
That's
out,
the thing
y'all.
I'm gonna
Peace
start
out.
doing, Chuck. I'm gonna try to figure out how to rhyme our episode exits and
Good luck with that one, bud.
oh my god. All right, you guys, thanks for being here. Creative Smack will be back. Ooh, that kind of rhyme too. Look at that. I'm on a roll. Al Scaramuza is a goal. Absolutely.
There you go.
It's so
Oh man. That's
Come on.
I'm going. All right, you guys. Peace.
Peace.